Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to episode number 91 of the Batman on Film Social Hour podcast. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Ramey. And with me today again is senior BOF contributor Ryan Lauer, the man behind the Batman Book Club podcast. Isn't that true?
That's very
It's
true.
a true
Thank you.
fact, right?
That is a fact. That is true stuff. And
yes,
I
can
haven't been
confirm it.
canceled, and the podcast
Yes.
hasn't been canceled. So hooray! We're still going.
You know what the good thing is about podcasts? You can't get canceled.
Can't get canceled.
Yeah, because you're your own producer and your own network. You're your own
That's right.
boss when you do a
And
podcast.
if nobody downloads it, then I'll download it, so I'll see
Yeah.
that it's still being downloaded.
Today, we're going to talk about the Batman again.
Hey, look at that.
And, yeah, let me tell the story. So this started
All right.
out, I've had an idea. I said,
Gather around, kids.
I said, say Ryan, I should talk one of those low sturdy voice, 1930s voices.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
take a seat. I mean, everybody take a knee. Coach Ramey's about to
Oh, yeah, I did.
be poetic here.
Yeah, hit a knee.
Is
Hats off.
that what they say down in Texas? Hit a knee?
Yeah, hit a knee.
Is that what you'd say? Hit a knee. Wow. All right.
I probably said hit a knee, take a knee,
Okay.
hats off, pots off.
You ever sound like Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights? All right now.
Sure.
Take a knee. Hit a knee. All right now. All right, carry on.
Eyes up,
Sorry.
eyes up.
Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. That's for you, Gary. Anyways.
So now I've completely lost. I went to a coaching mode and I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. What was it? No, I've actually lost my train of thought here. What were we talking about, Ryan?
Batman.
Oh, that narrows it down, doesn't it?
That narrowed down, yeah.
No, I got it now. Okay, so
Okay.
I had an idea. I said, say Ryan, why don't we break down the Batman chapter by chapter based on the Blu-ray? And you said that would be a really good idea. And
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
get
go
my
get some
diamonds
diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Mr. Freeze joined us.
Yeah.
And
a good time.
anyway, we've been doing this, and it's been part of the social hour. And so then I had another idea. I've had two ideas in the last half year. Can you believe it?
Great odds.
And this is more recent. I said, and I had even reached out to you. I said, I'm thinking about spinning this Batman on Film chapter by chapter off and give it its own BOF podcast, or should I continue it on the social hour? And you said, oh, spinning it off would be a good idea. So I'm here to announce officially that Batman on Film chapter by chapter will be a new podcast on the BOF podcast network. What do you think about that?
My goodness. It's just like you can't get enough. Because you got the social hour, got the main podcast,
Mm-hmm.
got Batman animation, now chapter by chapter, the satellite show. Boom.
Yeah.
BOF's on fire.
So the first movie we're going to do is Batman 89
Now you're gonna
as its own podcast, right?
And
So-
so on that chapter by chapter, just to clarify, it's going to be, you're going to start with Batman from 1989,
Mm-hmm.
and it is going to be the Batman until Batman's over, and then it's another movie. It's not going to be, hey, this one is the chapter from Batman. The next episode is
Yes.
a chapter from
Yeah.
Returns. It's one
Yep.
movie at a time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I've had such a good time doing the Batman, which we're going to get to here in just a second with chapter 16, that I said, you know what? This website is called Batman on Film. This has been fun. Why don't we do this for all the solo Batman films? So might as well just start with Batman 89 and work our way forward.
Why don't you tell all your friends about it?
Yes. So there you go. Just want to make that big announcement. I don't know how big it is, but there you go.
It's huge. It's huge. There you go.
All right. So
All right.
we are going to finish up with the Batman chapter by chapter here
All right,
on the
everybody
social
off your knee.
hour.
Off your knee. Take a lap. Let's go.
Yes. Yes.
Story time's over.
About to run some gassers.
Oh, sounds awful.
Let's run some gassers. So
Okay.
we're gonna get to the Batman here, and we will finish it on the social hour. That's where it started. That's where it will finish, and then it will break off chapter by chapter. We'll break off onto it, make it its own podcast. So we are at chapter 16, and again, if you're playing at home, if you have the home version of this podcast, you know that we're basing this off the Blu-ray chapters. So we are at chapter 16, and Batman says nothing. I don't know if he has one line of dialogue in this entire scene. Now he grunts and yells. Yeah, quite a bit. But
He put that in the script, but
I didn't know. I had a challenge of what to call this. It's been pretty easy to come up with titles for this. And we'll get to because it's at the end, basically, toward the end of this chapter. But Batman has yet another epiphany. Bruce Wayne had one earlier in the hospital with Alfred. Batman has one. His arc kind of completes here. And, I want to maybe riff off of the I'm vengeance at the beginning and then just make it I'm vengeance with a question mark. And then I rewatched it this morning, and then it just hit me. It was plain as day. The soundtrack title of the music that's played for the important part of this chapter is called The Bat's True Calling, and that just nails it.
and if you've been playing along at home this whole journey, chapter by chapter, we brought up the soundtrack titles almost every episode.
Yes.
Most of the time, because there are a lot of fun plays on sayings, but this one actually I was going to say meaningful. That's not to say that any of the other ones weren't, but this one, it wasn't going for like tongue in cheek. It was representative of the scene itself and what was happening.
Exactly. So this is also the penultimate chapter in terms of the film, but we are going to do the credits, and we're going to do the 2 bonus scenes that were cut from the movie. So let's pick up. All hell's breaking loose in Gotham. The Riddler's bombs have exploded and took out the seawall, and Bella Real is having a celebratory event at Gotham Square Garden, which we also find out during the course of the film that it is a safe haven because it's on higher ground. And so they're trying to get people into the Gotham Square Garden. And it was like in the last chapter when Selena showed up. I'm just trying to get out of here, man.
Yeah.
She ends up inside. But the thing
No,
is, go ahead.
It is kind of funny that's, and I get it too, because again, it's it's one building that can house a ton of people, but that's where they would go when you enter that building. And then it is like with a lot of other arenas and stuff, and then you go down. So for a place of like it's flooding, get everybody to this, this event center, but then everybody goes down in which,
Yeah.
as we see in this, as the water comes in, it's like, well, then it's just filling that up. So it is interesting that's the choice, but also like I'm not going to dissect it too much. But
Well,
it's just gonna
they were like, yeah, it's safe ground for a hurricane, but not if the seawall burst, which is what happened.
there was no hurricane and the seawall burst.
It was a moot point.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I'd also say people can sit in the stands, in the in the seats,
for sure. Or you can go up in the rafters.
But it's a
Apparently
new point. They do address it. It's a safe place for a hurricane, but if there's no seawall and we have a major flood, no, not so much. So starts off with Gordon. He shows up there. He's asking what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on here?
What's going on here? In the most non-GCPD way,
Yeah.
Just straight up speaking normal.
Yeah. Active situation, he says. Need a sweep for explosives. Get the mayor out of there. And that's when they talk about, well, this is the safe place, and blah, blah, blah. So, and in the meantime, you had the Riddler's goons, basically snipers. They're all in the rafters, planning on taking people out, I guess, including the mayor as well. So, all this is going on. The mayor insists on taking the stage.
She has a good line in how she says, that's the problem with this city. People are afraid to stand up and do the right thing, and I'm not. Excuse me, to Gordon, in which Wright has a good reaction after that too. Just like, this complicates things. I can't necessarily step in and stop her, but also I highly recommend you don't go out there.
Yes.
And she does.
Yes.
And I'll continue. When she gets out there and she starts to talk, and then I think it's done so well of her as she's trying to talk, and then it's like she somehow, for some reason, as the character, I know the movie it's set this way, but as she just like her eyes just start to go up and look above that main, and Pete would know exactly what that's like. What's that called that usually hangs in the middle of arenas with the scoreboard? And
I just call it the scoreboard.
It's early.
Jumbotron, whatever,
There you go. Like a Jumbotron. And like, it's just really effective how her eyesight does just like go up, like something triggered her of like, slow. And then guy shoots her, in which that's not awesome. It's creepy. I think it's effective. Done really well. And then Gordon, the hero that he is, I mean, like that just takes off out there to get her and pull her like to safety. And I think that there's I have a lot to say about this chapter. And it's because I get so sappy when stuff's done really well in Batman in the Batman world, of like instantly how quick Gordon goes and grabs her and pulls her out of harm's way, and then it's like, I don't know, grabs her and he's like holding over her as he's also looking and getting ready to like defend her or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I know that's like his job, but it's not like, he doesn't know her. It's the mayor. And he's just like, that's what I'm here to do. And it's such a good, like, as if we weren't already rooting for this version of Gordon. I mean, how can anybody not root for that character in this movie when he continuously is just doing heroic shit?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a great scene, and we see just enough to know that she's not wounded mortally. Looks like she took a shot in the shoulder, and
so she seems like she's tough. It drops her hard and fast, but I mean, she's awake, she's with it, and kind of pushing her arm or pushing her hand on the
first time I saw it. I was like, oh, shit, they're gonna kill the mayor off, already, they already killed one mayor.
In context of the story, what's Riddler's game in taking out Bella Real, you think, other than chaos? Because she's innocent innocent in the matter when you like in breaking it down at that point. And it's like, oh, is this at this part of his plan? Is that where he's going for chaos?
I wanted the people there would be all be sitting ducks. He has all these minions there. They all have long rifles.
Yeah.
They don't care. And they're
Mhm.
just going to shoot people. What it seems like to me. So it wasn't like specifically, we're going to take out the mayor. We're going to take out Villarreal. It was just to cause pure chaos. Just,
Which
a real change now.
mission accomplished.
So I think that while all hell's breaking loose after that, and they're the Riddler goons are shooting and whatnot. There's an explosion. It's one of the best drop-in Batman scenes of all time. In my
You even
opinion.
have Gordon looking through. I think they're big speakers.
Yeah,
that he's hiding behind, or that he's sheltering behind with Real, and he's got loaded his gun, and he's like looking through them as he's pointing, looking for him, and then you see Reeves sits on him just enough time to see that he almost takes a pause of like, huh?
yeah,
and then for what you're about to describe of
yes. It's just
Ugh.
the glass explosion and glass. It's
That's-
Batman. Obviously, he had put his little
that sound,
bat bombs or whatever to
That
open up the
sound.
roof. Yeah.
Oh man, it's like it's something with how it sounds too, and then holy shit, Batman
Yeah.
Returns.
He comes in, and he comes in kicking ass.
Remember how
he's not
Gideon
effing around here.
How giddy and excited I was talking about him at the hallway in Falcone's
Mhm.
lair.
Yeah.
Like that times two for this scene.
Yeah.
Like my God. And it's a Bat in the Rafters Part 2 on the album. And I mean, it allows him to drop, and you get the full effect of just sound.
Mm-hmm.
No music of him, I think, of him dropping and whatever. And then once he starts to kick ass is when that doom, doom, doom,
Yeah.
and then it just goes. And this son of a bitch kicks ass for like 2 minutes straight with that music going. And I'm just like, I don't even know words of like how I was the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth time I saw that scene of like, this is, oh my God. Like I don't care. I'm nerding out. It's so awesome.
It's great action scene. Great action scene. Great. I mean,
that's the title of this chapter right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
The whole scene, the whole chapter. Oh.
But him dropping in, the way it's done, the sound effects, the music, damn, it may be number one. I mean, it's up there with Batman dropping down in Batman 89 in the museum. It's awesome.
And I mean, it's also, I think, like I said, in the hallway fight too, of almost seeming like prime Batman, because he doesn't miss a beat for like a minute and a half and taking these guys down. And then sure, of course, he has some like little, you could almost say little mistakes and whatnot. And then he has a big one, but like for a moment there, as this music's going, and how he is just wiping all of them out and then sliding down that post to come around, kick, jump, like, man, I don't know. I think I just even put in my notes just 2 minutes of badass Batman.
I just put great action sequence that kicks ass. That's what I wrote.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, basically, that's what it is. And
go ahead, finish up.
The staging with it that Reeves ends up doing too, or the team of it's not just like right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook. It's like something kind of different each time to take them down in movements.
Well, he uses his grappling gun. Mm-hmm. He's using his fisticuffs. He's using whatever he can grab hold of to, he'll pull their gun away from them and use it like a baseball bat on their ass,
Yeah. And I love how the one guy hits him with the rifle in the chest. Or maybe is it 2 shots? It's 1 or 2 shots, but it's like Batman does like it hits him, kind of throws him back a little bit, and then as it hits, and then it's almost like as he turns to look at him
Yeah.
again, and he just gives this look to him of like, you're
Yeah.
effed. And then he
Yeah.
runs at him, and he just like jumps and tackles the guy as he does like a little yell again. "Ah!"
Yeah.
Like I'd shit my pants. No.
He takes that shotgun blast right to the chest, which throws him for a bit of a loop there. You know,
I'm trying to think of, is that the one that makes him fall?
yeah,
Yeah, because then that's almost like, oh, okay, that's the sequence of him just totally kicking ass is done. And
Mhm.
that gives you room to breathe, of that helps with the tension as he's barely hanging on, because it's angled now.
It's
one
kind of
of the
like
cables have snapped,
he's
so
taken
it's
care of most of them except for this one
Mhm.
last goon. But he gets in, he's in trouble.
Mhm.
And I love the shot. Gordon looks up and sees Batman in trouble. He takes off.
Mhm.
Selena looks up and sees Batman in trouble. She takes off. So you've got Batman hanging there, and this minion, this Riddler minion, is like loading up the shotgun, taking the shells out, and putting,
I think, it says he's hanging, and
yeah,
he's going around because it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
open range from the rest of
hmm,
them as they're all trying to shoot him, and he's making his way
yeah,
around. And then it's really cool how he sets, I don't know if like a air canister or something, he puts one
yeah,
of his little bombs on that, which creates the smoke. And then the music does go quiet as they're approaching the smoke. And then it's a really awesome hit
yeah,
as Batman jumps out of that
yeah,
smoke. And then it's the shot that we saw at the end of
yes,
that
yeah,
trailer, which is so freaking cool, that they hit perfectly with music in the trailer, of just taking that, like you mentioned, with that gun and just using it
yeah,
to dismantle a guy, knock a guy out, block another guy, hit this guy, and whatever. And then that turn. And I
yeah,
was just like, holy shit.
yes.
But still.
Um, yeah. So he's down to that one guy.
Mhm.
He's taking a shot. I mean, and they also have the slight sound like when your ears are ringing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he's
Mhm.
like, you know, um, but I mean, the guy's going to shoot him in the head. He's pointing the shotgun at him, and then Selena drops down. He's able to pull himself up, and but I mean, he's starting to lose consciousness there. Do you think that does Selena think he's dying?
Did I think Batman was?
No, I didn't. I was like, there's no way they're going to kill Batman. Does Selena think in the story, when she's saying it's okay, it's all
Mm,
over, it's all done, and he's, you know, and things are starting to fade out.
yeah. I think I know that there was some discrepancy, I don't know, between he took all those in the Falcone hallway, all the direct shots he
Mm-hmm.
took, but then the one shot of a shotgun hits him, and I don't know, didn't never bothered me.
No,
If it bothers somebody else, and Pop's like, well, I mean, that's fine. But I guess with me, I just kind of I went along with it. It's fine.
well, a lot of things I think with the in
This
Falcone, this one was a pretty. I'll just say he had a double barrel shotgun, and it was like right in front of him, you know, and he had taken some other shots. So no, I don't. No, I don't think it. I didn't. It didn't affect me. It's like, okay, that's how could he do this then? And no, I didn't. First time I even thought about it, to be honest, since you brought it up. But um, I think Zoe Kravitz is really good in this scene. She's
Mhm.
clearly has affection for Batman. I think she's worried about him. I think she thinks maybe he's going to die.
Mhm.
And then the goon takes her, snatches her up, and that's when Batman grabs that venom
Venom. Yes.
and injects himself with venom, which means, you know what that means now? That means Bane's coming.
Right. I think we talked about it a couple times when you and I did the review on the movie, and then when we had the Art of the Batman book, and that I thought maybe this is maybe it could be Venom, and they wouldn't go for the full on Bane thing, but go for the Denny O'Neil Venom story,
Yeah.
which would be a really interesting. I don't know if I necessarily want to see it because that's kind of a tough story to read, but that's like maybe that's the introduction for that. In which, as we found out in the Art of the Batman book, it was it epinephrine? Am I wrong? I don't know. Adrenaline?
It's just adrenaline.
I don't know these
shot.
things.
Yeah.
um, in which you use that, and yeah, and it was, you
Yeah.
know, and then he messes up a face for life.
He beats the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Even Selena's like looking at him like, you know, wow, you're really beating the hell out of that guy. Then luckily Gordon gets there. Gordon talks him down, you know, calms him down. I think it's more of not like Gordon really talking down. Gordon just, he sees Gordon and Gordon's like, hey. Should have been Martinez. Whoa.
Whoa.
But he calms down. He's still, you know, he's still wound up for sure. And I like, you know, Gordon pulls off the mask and goes, Jesus.
Yeah. In which this is too, I don't have it. This was people thinking, I did too, of wondering if it was that guy at the funeral from earlier on.
I did too. Yeah.
In which then if you look at IMDb, it's not the same person.
Yeah.
It's a different guy.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
the point is made when he asks, does he say who are you or something? And the guy says, I'm vengeance. Me, I'm vengeance.
Yeah.
And then that's the point. It's not the point of like who that guy is. It's just goes way back to chapter 1 of like representation of like, if you don't cool it, Bruce, this is what Batman is going to be seen as.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I just think that snaps everything. It doesn't snap everything. It's like that was the missing piece. It hits there. Let's say that it doesn't snap together. It hits and it works.
It starts with him in the hospital with Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
When he acknowledges that he actually cares about someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And he was afraid to lose Alfred, someone he cared about, and actually takes Alfred's hand. That was kind of Bruce's turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of Batman's turn, where he realizes this is what people looked at me like this. I'm vengeance. And he says nothing, but it's all in his acting, all in his body language, the camera work. That you know exactly what he's thinking. You know exactly what he's thinking, that he can't be this.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be this guy. Because indirectly he inspired it. Even the Riddler tells him in Arkham, you inspired me, you know?
I was gonna say this follows the conversation that you just had of like, no, we're a team, you know, and all that, into which there's more, you know, self-evaluation of seriously, I need to check
you
myself.
You goddamn out of your mind. You out of your goddamn mind.
You've got it out of your mind.
But he has that split second where you know what he's thinking after he hears that guy say that. And he looks and he sees that Jumbotron scoreboard, you know, about to fall with all the electric, you know, the cables are, you know, sparking. And he just, you know,
And the bell,
just
just like
goes.
this, the lone bell for the score that
Yeah.
hits is really good too. And yeah, like you said, of uh, it's a split. It's almost like not even having to think twice about it. Just jumps into action, which is heroic Batman.
Yeah. And he
That
cuts the cable. I mean, he cuts it. He doesn't know if he's going to survive that fall.
removes that battering off of his chest plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cuts
And
it.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it gave me the feels of his fall, and then how it does do a camera like looking up at Selena as the camera like falls, and then
Mhm.
Gordon like the same thing. I think that's really well done too, to kind of see, to really emphasize, I don't know, the heroic act. He'll
Mhm.
he's violent towards those who need a kick in the ass, but then as from here out, it shows you know he's a hero savior for the people who need it too.
And they don't. You have the fall. They don't waste any time really with the audience going, well, is he gonna get out of the water, emerge from the water? I mean, it's just like he hits and he's up,
He's back up. Yeah.
he's up and he pulls out that flare. Man, that's just great shots there. And that flare goes off. It's red, orangish red. Reminds me
The
of the
Bat's True
logo.
Calling
Yeah.
music is that's where
Yes,
this
the Bats
track.
calling. Um, and then he realizes that there are people down there.
Mhm.
And so he goes to them and
Lights that flare.
yeah, I mean it moves the debris enough to where they can escape. The mayor's down there. And I think it's just it's a great it's it's great because he reaches out his hand and it's like they're all, well, that's freaking that's that monster Batman, that's vengeance, they're afraid.
Mhm.
And the kid
Mhm.
is the first one to come forward and take his hand. And there had been little things with that kid, between Batman and the kid, during the course of the film, of Batman, Bruce, and Batman at different times in the film, depending on the scene, having empathy, a connection to that kid, because his father was killed and he's the one that found him.
Mhm.
And
That-
the kid comes
that's
out,
great.
and then the mayor, to me, and my interpretation is that the mayor coming forward, taking his hand, is Gotham accepting him.
Mhm. Yep.
Then they all come out, and then there's just that great shot of him and that flare leading him out,
Yep.
and
Great.
there it ends.
Ba-ba-ba.
But I did a lot of talking about that scene. You talk about it, the flare, the light.
It was real. It was really neat. Done.
Yeah,
Maybe that could be the name of this chapter. It's really neat.
it was really neat.
No, it's. I mean, I think visually it's uh striking. It's very cool. And then yeah, I do like that as he's approaching, everybody who's just kind of scared.
Mhm.
And yeah, the way that he uses his shoulder to move some of the debris and stuff, and puts his hand out. And yeah, the mayor's hesitant, but the kid just first one, yeah, just leads the way. And it's just like that's the first domino, because then you see other people in that area start helping each other too. And yeah, the him leading the people with the flare in the trailers, I know when we saw that, I thought it was GCPD that he was leading for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I applaud times too where this is dialogue-less, but you get the point. And it's like good, because we don't always need to be spoon-fed the ideas. Would it have worked better if Bella would have been like, I don't know if I can trust you, Batman. Oh, look at that. You're helping this child. I think we can trust you now as a city. And then it was all
Yes.
no. It's no dialogue.
Yeah. It's this was a chapter, this was a scene that you had to have in the film completely.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole thing comes full circle. The arc is complete. I mean, we get a little bit more of that in the next one, the final chapter of the movie, where and we'll get into that in the next show. So I don't want to get into it, but it comes full circle back also with this next scene, because the diary entry voiceover picks up again, kind of taking you full circle back to the beginning when he's writing about that first night. So I thought it was great the visual, just the visuals. Batman not saying a word and says so much. You know what I mean? So much. The drop in, the ass kicking action scene, the adrenaline, beating the hell out of that. And then just when he says, "Me, I'm vengeance," and him, oh snap.
Yeah.
I can't be like that.
I have to be a hero.
Doggone it. I need my underpants outside my suit.
Yeah.
There's like moments where he does yell through this, he's very like almost animalistic of. So the one we heard, like the Venom shot, the when he jumps to tackle the guy, when he leaps out of the smoke on the one guy, then there's two others that pull him off, and it's like a hard pull off, and he lands on his back, and he's like, and he's just like a rabid dog, too. So I don't know. Be interesting to see if any of that kind of carries out in the sequel of like those, I guess, like maybe animalistic noises that he does make and like rabid, or if that plays into the vengeance thing and his self-evaluation of, I need to tone it back some, and just like a little thing, if that's part of the evolution of him in the suit.
Yeah. Well, at some point we'll be doing a chapter by chapter of that, and we can really break it down.
Heard it here first, people.
Yes.
2025, maybe 2026.
Yeah.
Batman sequel, chapter by chapter.
Chapter by chapter. Yes. All right. The Bat's True Calling. So we have one. Can you believe it? We have one chapter left of the film. And then, of course, the credits and the two bonus scenes. Can't ignore those.
And the bonus scenes, you're doing each one is an episode,
yes,
correct?
Well, yes. So we have 4 episodes left, y'all. 4, but one more with the actual film, the ending of the movie will become in chapter 17. So with that, Ryan.
Yeah.
Would you like to plug anything?
Oh, sure. I haven't posted, I guess it was last week, latest comic book review for the main Batman title on Batman on Film proper. If you click on my name, I'm trying to catch up to Pete on posts on Batman on Film, but I don't think that'll ever happen. When he's sitting there eating pizza on camera and posting it and all that stuff, I'm never going to catch up to that guy. But click the name on the side.
You could always eat a bowl of cereal and have a can of Mountain Dew.
That's true. Maybe order some of the 6-year-old BVS cereal, and I'll eat that bowl with my Mountain Dew. Oh, that'd be terrible video.
Well, how about you could eat
I'd rather watch Pete eat pizza.
Would you want to eat a 33-year-old bowl of the Batman 89 cereal?
No. You know what I do have? I do have unopened packages of the 89 Topps cards that came with a stick of gum.
You could open it and chew that piece of gum on camera.
There you go. Oh, that'd be something. Like, let's see. There's one crack. Yeah, it was one tooth. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. But yes, go there for reviews and previous posts all sorts of goodies. Check out other stuff on the Batman on Film podcast feed, like Batman Animation, BOF podcasts, where talked with Sean Murphy, previous Social Hour, where Bill and I talked with Lee Bermejo. And then check out my podcast, the Batman Book Club, which Bill is generous and posts on Batman on Film. Wherever you listen to podcasts or Batman on Film, new episode just dropped. Just dropped with the Sheriff, Ryan Haas, talking the Batman 66 comic series and the Scarecrow. Jonathan Crane making
That
an
was
appearance into the
interesting. I was
universe.
about to just ask you about that. It's never saw the Scarecrow in the TV series.
Mm-mm.
But the comic series did their version.
Yeah, and I haven't read that. I started off reading that comic series when it was announced, and then I just got behind and I just never picked up. But I know that they brought in quite a few. You know, they brought in a Harley Quinn and Bane and Killer Croc. I'm missing, I think, Poison Ivy, Harvey Dent. They did the Lost episode issue. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And yeah, that was a good episode. It was a good discussion with Ryan Haas. He likes to dig deep. I'd never read it before. So see, even I'm learning every day, new stuff.
Every day you learn.
That's fun.
Of
That's
course,
right.
that's my motto. Learn something
Yeah.
new every day. All right. Anything else? You done with your plugs? That's it?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just make sure.
I don't know. Read more Batman comics.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
All right. Let's see here. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I will just say Ryan's show and other shows. This show, the Batman Book Club, the Batman Social Hour, the Batman on Film podcast, Straight Out of Gotham,
Straight
and
Out of
others.
Gotham.
They're all part of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. You can find those shows at the website. Just find the logo or the pull down.
Go to-
the podcast.
go to Batman
for
on
them.
Film.
Yeah.
Listen to Straight Out of Gotham, because you're in for a real treat. Peter Vera has started to improvise songs in episodes of Straight Out of Gotham. So the
Okay.
latest one's got another one, and it's very entertaining. About up there with him and filling his pockets with Boudin. Pete's singing like an angel.
All
There
right.
you go. I just want to throw
There
that
you go.
out there.
Okay. There you go. Let's see. So I did Batman Podcast Network. If you want to advertise on Batman on Film, you can do that. Just go to advertisecast.com/Batman on Film. And you can find if you're watching this on Batman on Film proper, there will be a banner. You can just go there, or you can find Advertise Cast on Batman on Film main page. So what else am I missing here? Oh, Patreon. Same thing. Patreon, you want to help contribute to Batman on Film, keep going on, or hitting the year 25 here in 2023. Patreon.com/Batman on Film as well. Announcer Rachel has some other stuff, and that's all I got. So for Ryan and Bill, thanks for listening to episode 91 of the Batman on Film Social Hour, which is chapter 16 of the Batman, chapter by chapter, the Bat's True Calling. And with that, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jet's official vlog and podcast on Batman on Film. Follow Jet on Twitter @Batman on Film. Follow the BOF newsfeed on Twitter @The Batman on Film. For Jet and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original Batman on Film, established in 1998.